Hi friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel Help Indian Charity. I'm Ashwati. In this video, we are going to talk about or discuss about the money circulation in India, the rupees.
The world economic system is controlled by the World Bank. Every country has its own central bank and a banking system. For example, the Reserve Bank of India, the Bank of Japan, the Bank of Germany, Swiss Bank, then the Asian Development Bank, the America has its Federal Reserve Bank. And every country has its own banking system.
The world economy is deeply connected and dependent on the value of dollar. For example, the goods and services or the exchange of goods and services between the countries all over the world is actually done, or the medium for this is dollar. India has a traditionally monetary system. So it has a long history. Then India has a volume of 16 lakh crore liquid cash. The 1.3 billion people of India, the institution, the banking agencies, then the NBFCs, religious institutions, and so on. Everyone is actually using India's money or this liquid cash. Here, I would like to draw your attention towards a comparison of money circulation and the blood circulation in our body. So, when we consider or when we compare these two circulations, their mechanisms are very similar. They're very similar to each other. So, let me take the heart. Heart plays a very major role in our body because it acts as a pumping system, and it circulates blood all over the body through the artery and takes the blood from the body parts to the vein. Like that, the Reserve Bank is actually acting as a heart in our body and making the economy live, as the heart makes whole body live because all the cells need blood and this is being pumped by the heart, so it makes the body alive. Like that, the Reserve Bank is actually circulating the money in the rupees all over the economy and making the economy live, and without going into other problems like inflation, deflation, the recession, etc. So let me consider the first one, that is the artery. What is artery doing? Artery plays a major role, or artery plays a role of circulating or taking the blood from heart and getting into the body parts. Like that, in the economy, the Reserve Bank is actually circulating the money all over the economy, and the banks are actually acting as not only the bank, the infrastructure, then some employment generation activities. All these activities or all these institutions are acting as an artery and taking the money, or the Reserve Bank is actually pouring the money into the people through these institutions. That is, then the one is vein. Vein is actually doing a role of taking the blood from the body parts and getting it back to the heart. Like a circulation is actually, a cycle is going on. Like that, the taxation system of the Reserve Bank is our institution, which actually do is that they actually take or absorb the money like a sponge, which is being poured by the Reserve Bank, and take it back to the Reserve Bank. So this is also going in a cycle. If blood is actually clotted on anywhere, if there is an injury or an excess of blood flow or excess of anything happen, if there is a disorder happening in our body, like that, what will happen in our body? Then there will be some inflammation going on in that part. Like that, in Indian economy or any economy, if someone is holding an excess amount of money or not allowing the money to be a liquid, or the liquid cash is going to be solidified, then what happens is that there will be a problem in the economy. Not only a person, a lot of people are doing like this, then this will affect the cycle, or this will affect the flow of the money, and this causes a lot of problems in our body. Sometimes the wound or some wound will be coming on our body, and our body will be more focused or engaged in actually recovering from that wound. Like that, when such calamities like a flood, the earthquake or cyclone comes and hits some of the places of our country, then the Prime Minister or more money will be allocated or be allotted to that place and help the people to recover from that situation. When we take another case in which when another foreign country is actually going to conquer us, what will happen? Our defense the body's defense mechanism will just wake up and they will be attacking them back. Like that, when a foreign country is actually coming to invade us in our economy, then more expenditure will be allotted or more expenditure will be given to the defense mechanism of our economy, of our country. Also, we should give our children a moral education about
the importance of money, because from the childhood days itself the children should be taught how to spend money, how to earn money, and how to save money. They should know the value of even like at least one the one penny, even the one penny that they just spend. Because when they become older, if a person is actually in his childhood is actually spending a lot of money, even it is 100 rupees, when he become older or when he become an elder child, then his needs will be increasing, so the money need of money also increases. So instead of 100, he will be actually he will be spending more than that, maybe 1 lakh or 2 lakh. If he didn't get it, then he will find other ways. Some illegal activities can even be taken takes place, or he can actually go for some leasing the money and all. So from the childhood days itself, they should be taught, or like money, how to handle the money. How to handle the money is a very great thing, that the small things should be taught as a life lesson. Like when we are like studying the driving and all, learning driving and all, the money, how to handle money is also a very great ability of a person, and it's actually a very important thing that a person should understand and a person should know at this generation. So let us go to some history and just talk about how people came into the now digital money, that is from barter system, a chain of a timeline from the barter system towards the digital money. So at first people have small needs and they just exchanged goods for goods without the use of money. At that time there were no idea about money, the money was not that much in a trend. So that is a system called barter system. But due to some disadvantages like lack of divisibility, that for if a person is exchanging a mango for a jackfruit, then both the things are actually having different masses, and one mango is not equal to one jackfruit. So there is a lack of divisibility and lack of transport, a lot of disadvantages were there. Then people, they have some more needs, so they began to use metals, some expensive metals like gold, silver, copper, platinum, and some etc, some other non-metals also like diamond is being used for the exchange of goods. So at that time they were exchanging these metals. Then the transactions were not in a hand, it was more beyond, more elaborate than that. So they began to think that these things are actually not enough, this metal coins are not enough, so they began to print paper notes. That is how the paper notes came into existence. And now people are actually like when they are getting after demonetization, we just introduced our country introduced 500 rupees note, 2000 rupees notes, 200 rupees note and all. So when they get a large amount of money, people, they have a tendency to show a possession, an ability or a tendency to show possession towards the money and to hoard it. So they have a tendency like that, everyone do have a tendency like that. So what happens is that people will actually stop, or they will become more greedy about money. It's not about greedy, it's because their sentiments towards the money increases. They will not like spend their money on the market, and this can causes the recession. So for example, let me make it clear, like when the organs are thinking like that, like heart is not gonna give us like blood anymore, the blood will be like the flow of blood will be decreased, so that let us store some blood in ourselves. Like everyone is thinking like that, the stomach is thinking like that, kidneys thinking like that, eyes are thinking like that. If every organs are thinking like that, then heart could not work. So like that, when every organs or every people or every institutions are thinking like that, when their sentiments towards the money, or when they are actually like resisting them to spend some money on the economy or in the market, in where the money just circulates, our reserve bank or our banks or any of the institutions which is dealing or which is playing with this money cannot work. So this is the mechanism how we cause like the recessions are actually happening. So for avoiding that recession, what we have to do is that like it's not possible to like take all the money from the reserve bank and give it to the people. That will also increase their tendency to actually possess the money. So what they have to do is that we have to spend our money, and this is how the recession is gonna like stop. Like in the past, from the past 3 years, the digital money is actually more relevant in our society. Every people are now coming, like they are gradually more speedily, like a little bit fast
to the digitalization, because in the years it is one of the biggest successful thing that is actually working out in India. Because when we are actually transactions are actually becoming virtual transactions, what is the advantages of it is the money is not actually transaction. That is, if we are actually holding a lot of money or holding a particular amount of money, then it will block the circulation of the money, that I said. But if the person is holding the money in a bank, then the bank can utilize it for other purposes, for giving loans, and some of the deposits can help. That is how the mechanism of bank it is. So how this is happening is that when someone is depositing money, or everyone is actually holding their money in banks, the bank can utilize this money. So when someone is going to transact a money from to another person, the value of money is only moving, not the money is actually moving from one person to the another. The value of money is actually going. So what happens is that the money which is actually put forward, or which is released by the Reserve Bank, is actually kept it is present, or it is of that. That is, the money is not going anywhere, it is actually there in the circle. The people are actually transacting the money, only the values are actually moving, not the original money is moving from one person to the another. So this is the major very big a salient feature or a salient advantage of this digitalization of money. And now every person should have an account, and a lot of money transaction apps have been introduced, like Google Pay, the Phone Pay, the Money app, the Kashkaro app. Then the Facebook has Geo Money. Then the WhatsApp also has transaction facilities. So every person should at least in this digital world, everyone should have an account. And there is an interesting fact is that the which is the country which has the highest digital payment in the world, it's actually India, because around 25.5 billion transactions are going on this in this year. The another situation or the another case is the child funding or the cross-border infiltration. Let me make it clear with this. What does this mean? From the past many years before the demonetization and now also, many countries were actually spending or investing money on our India on a bad intention. They were actually not investing or giving us money with a good intention. They were actually doing it for a bad purpose. So this is what we call as terror funding. For example, when we take the example of a body, instead of 5 liter, if it is excess, or when we are actually going to transfuse some blood, then our doctors or the clinic will check whether the blood is going to blend with that blood which is being injecting into a body, right? Also, like that, instead of 5 liter, if there is excess of blood, then our body have no we will be having a lot of imbalance inside our body. Like that, when other countries are actually spending money, and also through the cargo, many containers of money were actually being taken or being shipped on our country. And this much of types of funding in our economy or in our India make some imbalances, that is for sure in that. So our Prime Minister just demonetized the money, all the 1500 notes, but this was not that much very effective. But I think that digitalization is the best way or the best solution for this problem, because when an extra money, even if it is a 1 rupee coin, if it is entering in that, if it is beyond the volume or beyond the liquid cash or beyond the Indian rupee, then it can be monitored and we can actually find the source where it is coming from, and a lot of issues can also be eradicated or evaded by this one what we say activity, like the digitalization. Otherwise, we will be having the issues or the situation going on in Sri Lanka. Said on or given money to this Sri Lanka on a bad intention, and now it is actually conquering it, and the consequences are really bad for them. They are actually, that country is actually taking all over the control, and it's something like an hijacking all the mechanism and control of Sri Lanka. So they are actually facing a very big consequences as a part of this. But taking a money or getting the money a lot from the country which is invested on. Country is in a serious debt right now.